This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer. You guys are listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Come on, sit down. It's time to talk a little wrestling with your boys. Episode number 132 of the award-winning Sit Down Marks podcast. Welcome, everybody. What's going on? What's going on, fellas? How we doing today? We got Michael in the house. Primo's here. We got 3 of the 4, so it's going to be a big one, man. How you guys feeling first?
Not too bad, man. Glad to have Michael back. Episode 132. We got a lot to talk about post SummerSlam, so I'm ready.
Yep. Michael, back in it. What's going on, brother? Good to have you back. Good to see you.
Not much. Good to see you guys. I'm mostly just confused.
Oh, my bad, Michael. Hold on.
Yes. The delayed reaction is it's like they just got up and just turned around and crossed their arms. Like, they don't have an impact on these crowds anymore like I used to.
You didn't get your customary boos there. They were just a little late. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Wait, Michael. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, man. Episode number 132, boys. We're going to talk SummerSlam. We're going to do a little all-in preview. We're going to shit on AJ for not being at another podcast, but you know, I have it in text form that he has said that he is, you know, I'm promising his presence to the masses for next
September.
For the September, I think it's WWE Berlin Bash of Berlin review. So he's promised. So mass repercussions here from the masses and us 3 if AJ don't show up at the next one. So we're just gonna poop all over him. So. But let's jump into it, boys. Just a couple notes here before we get into everything. You know how we do. So let's start a little somber note, man. Kevin Sullivan just passed away, like literally not long ago.
Days ago.
Yeah. So the Taskmaster, you know what I mean? What I know of him, a part of a lot of good wrestling, but I feel like a part of a lot of bad wrestling too, you know. But you know, he's he's been a lot of part of a lot of success, you know, in a lot of companies. But you know, what are your guys' opinions on Kevin Sullivan? What do you remember of him as a wrestler?
I remember the Dungeon of Doom, because how could you forget the Dungeon of Doom?
Right.
And then 2, I Respect You, Booker Man. Of course, that's the classic.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like, he was responsible for some really good stuff. He was responsible for some just awful trash, too. But, like, No one bats 1,000. But he was always entertaining, and the guy could, like, twist anybody into a pretzel if he wanted to, so.
Yeah. Legit tough guy. Primo, what do you think of Kevin Sullivan?
Same as you guys. What you guys mentioned, his stuff in WCW is what I remember the most. But no, I remember being kind of creepy because I was a kid. So, but no, I mean, obviously, sorry that he passed, but obviously, he had quite the legacy.
He did, man. I always remember that black paint like he wore like above his eyebrows and kind of like, you know, like during the, you know, Dungeon of Doom era. I think you're right. Kevin Sullivan's like he's one of those guys that I feel like I watched him from the time I started watching wrestling. Like, you know, I just saw so much of his work, so much of his stuff, and then obviously in WCW, you know, and then his you know, he's been credited with a lot of their successful angles back then. So, but I always hate to see, you know, like I mean, nobody's undefeated against time, but I always, you know, see like, you know, hate to see like the big minds of the business, you know, kind of go on the way out the door because, you know, like I feel like, you know, as we go into this world, you know, wrestling's going to change too. You know what I mean? And a lot of these like old school minds in the wrestling that I like that I grew up and knew, you know, he's one of those that's, you know, that's kind of died off now. You know, I mean, I think he's been in pretty bad shape for a little while. I've seen some pictures and stuff of him, and he was on a few documentaries and stuff too. But yeah, I hate to see the Kevin Sullivan. Rest in peace, brother. So let's jump into what's going on TV, man. Michael, what are your initial reactions of this Rhea Dom breakup? Like, is this angle working for you at all?
Rhea and Dom they're just so good at what they do. I've been saying it for forever. Rhea Ripley's a goddamn star. I'm so surprised with how good Dom is as a heel. But yeah, like I'm enjoying it. Like, I get more Rhea Ripley. She's amazing, and you know, I'm a little sad though because I can see the Rhea Ripley experiment coming to an end because I think she's going to leave for other things. Like, I think she's going to be moving on to, like, I don't know what, but like I can see she's got a couple years left where she's like, okay, I've done the wrestling thing. I'm going to go do something else now. So
yeah, she could do movie star type stuff, man. You liking the breakup, man? Like with Liv in the role, Primo as the third wheel, as the what they call it when they breaking up families and you know, whatever.
A love triangle.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Oh, you know, my preference is blondes, so Dom made the right choice here. Yeah. However, you gotta remember a couple years ago we were just like even before Judgment Day when he was like super young baby face, we were just like, oh, he's got a long time to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the past year or so, he's made himself an established heel. Can't even talk over the mic because he gets booed out of the arena every time. How did he become such a good heel, but make it worse? You know, break up with Rhea.
So, right, yeah, it's about the best way to do it. Yeah, the most over female in wrestling right now.
Right.
You know, at that point, you know.
Well, also think about who your dad is and who you can bounce ideas off of at that point. Like,
right. It's crazy. I heard Dion Reisman. We were talking in a group of people, and this was like a year ago, and he joked that like he said, Dominic Mysterio is going to be the biggest heel in wrestling in 5 to 10 years. And every time I see Dom doing this stuff, I'm like, he's right, man. He might even be earlier, you know, like, but people love to boo him, man. And now he's got this like annoying mustache that
mustache
makes it even more like, oh man, he makes his face punchable now, right? Like, you know, like before, you know,
and his mullet's taking a mind of its own. And...
Kid is doing it though, man. He's doing it.
He's added that Sammy Guevara slap ability to his face.
Yeah. And when we look back, man, Dominic Mysterio is going to look at his career and go, the best thing that happened to me probably is that they put me in the Judgment Day. Like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
He's just
skyrocketed.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. What a good move. Whoever idea that was.
It reminds me so much of when The Rock, before he was The Rock, he was, Rocky Maivia, the smiling babyface everyone hated. Then he turned heel and he was awesome.
Yeah.
Right. I know it. Yeah.
Give him that edge. Also, you know, when your father is Rey Mysterio, one of the greatest baby faces of all time, you kind of got to figure out a way to not be that.
Right.
So,
yeah. All right. So what do you guys think the Wyatt Six are wrestling now without the mask? How do you think this is getting over? Is the transition been okay? Is it a little, you know, tell me if y'all feel like I do. Is it a little weird that they're like just saying Joe Gacy? You know, like they're just saying, like, I feel like they should have a different name. Like, why not, like, you know, call him Pig or, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, don't call him, you know, Joe Gacy. I want to, you know what I mean? It kind of takes away a little bit of the
Huskus and...
Yeah. But, you know, like he's new now. Call him Pig, you know, call Eric Rowan, you know, just like something, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what do you guys feel about this Wyatt Six wrestling now? Fucking Dexter Lumis got a lot of hair, I tell you that now.
He looks badass, to be honest, in my opinion. He looks cool.
Yeah.
You know what's it's funny that we segued to this because I wanted to mention that my son a few weeks ago before SummerSlam was watching Monday Night Raw with me. It was one of the tapes that they had on there, and it was like the Sister Abigail one, and we were watching it, and at the end he goes, "This is by the way, the opinion of a 12-year-old. So in this, sometimes is their target audience." He goes, "Yeah, that wasn't interesting at all."
Right. Like,
and then a couple minutes later, Liv Morgan came on the screen and his eyes got pretty big. So, but no, as far as wrestling goes, yeah, I get it. Like, I see what you're saying. But also, I don't know. I don't like when they treat us like goldfish. So,
yeah, true. And I could see them like doing this as like Bo saved them, or or Uncle
Straight Edge Society.
Them. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So they're still Joe. They're just Piggy Joe now, and
Daddy Pig.
Buzzard Loomis.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michael?
I love Bo Dallas. I don't like that they went back to the Wyatt family. I really don't. I think the moment's over for it. Even Bray Wyatt felt the moment was over when he moved on to the Fiend. So it just seems like taking a step back to reintroduce people that were already stars.
Right.
I like a good faction. I like a good dark brooding faction, especially with like the Wyatts. But Bray Wyatt is lightning in a bottle. And Bo Dallas is his own special thing. I don't want to see him, because now at this point he's doing a copy of a copy, because Waylon Mercy was the first one, then Bray Wyatt, and now Bo Dallas is doing it. It'd be like if someone's like new gimmick was Undertaker 2, right? It's like not to that level, but like in principle, like you're already doing the gimmick again. Like it just happened. But after that, everyone in the group's a good talent. They're really good. It's just, I don't know. I was hoping for something different from Bo Dallas, but it just seems like going back to the Wyatt family is like.
So this goes back to something I said a couple episodes ago. I actually mentioned if it sucks, which I don't think it sucks, but if it ends up sucking in like a month or two,
right? Is
someone gonna tell them, or are they gonna be like, because it's like your brother, it's just your brother's project, it's your project, so it's like that's kind of a touchy subject, but at some point it's a business,
right?
And also like how long are the legs on this thing,
right?
Like really, how long are the legs on it?
Maybe they said, hey, we'll give it a shot. If it gets over, we'll go. If not, I know they're printing a shit ton of merch, so they're going to get all behind it if they can. What I mean? But I can see them doing that too. Saying, all right, we'll try it. If not, then we'll pivot. But yeah, I'm kind of with you, Michael. Like I love that Bo Dallas is getting this spot, man. This is good. I just hope he makes it work.
Yeah, the only real problem with it is that the Wyatt family already ran out of steam once because they had nowhere else to go with it. So trying it again, but with like different players, I want it to succeed. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that it's not for me.
Right.
And real quick, Primo, I get that you like blondes, but dark hair covered in tattoos, way better.
I mean, I never said I didn't like Rhea. I said
that's fair.
All right, Mike, I'm gonna stay with you on this one, man.
Yeah, dark hair tattoos. What do you got?
You're
growing your hair out, getting some tats.
Randy Orton has tattoos, but man, I'm gonna tell you, like when Gunther and Orton are facing off, man, right now, like I'm feeling like this thing's got legs to be like a steamboat, Flair, not as they won't wrestle 1,000 times, but like I'm getting like, I love this, man. Like this has really got me, because I think these guys could have some really awesome traditional matches. You know what I mean? And just really just beat the shit out of each other too. But like I feel like they're going to be able to put together like a pretty good a pretty good storyline here, and they're already, kind of talking. And I wish they hadn't gone to the RKO so fast. You know what I mean? Because I like a slow build on a big feud.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping this thing lasts to at least probably. I mean, they'll probably go at Survivor Series, right? I'd love to see this thing go to at least the Rumble. Blow off at the Rumble, and then, or maybe they're 1-1, then they blow it off at Mania, whatever. But I'd be up for a feud that long too. But are you guys excited for this feud? Because I sure as fuck am.
I love anything Gunther.
Right.
The dude is so good at putting matches together. He's so good at changing up what he does depending on his opponent. Randy Orton is smooth as butter in the ring. There's a lot of people that kind of hate on Randy Orton. He's like, oh, he does kind of the same thing. It's like, yeah, but he also changes it up, and the new ways he hits his RKOs, it's always weird and different sometimes. But I like Gunther and I like Randy Orton because they can tell an in-ring story, and they're very good at that. Primo, I know you're not a big Gunther fan. In fact, I think you said you hate him so much that it just hurts you physically. Pretty sure that's what you said.
What do you guys think about this? Britt Baker, all of a sudden she's got beef with MJF, his girl. I'm hearing she's got, with talent. I'm not thinking is this going to blow up to another fucking CM Punk stuff? I'm just seeing too much about it, and I'm not even looking up anything. I'm
no, it's just going across my feed a couple times, but I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, it's. Go ahead, Primo. Go ahead.
I was going to say, back to your other question about Gunther and Randy. It makes his first challenger legitimate.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And either one, whichever one comes out with the title on this, I'm okay with. Really,
they're not gonna freaking, unfortunately, take it off Gunther anytime soon.
No,
but
long live Gunther.
But it's that's the thing. I love seeing Randy back in the title picture because I do want him to have one last run, but major title, main event run. I mean,
yeah.
However, I know it's not going to be this one because they've had a boner over Gunther since he got there. So,
right,
that's it.
I have a boner over Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, man. I had a boner over him as Walter when he was. I was
gonna say, call it my Walter.
Yeah. He's just, he's just that traditional kick-asser, man. I love it. All right, couple last notes before we get to SummerSlam. Have you guys checked out Who Killed WCW on Vice TV? It's a 4-part series.
I saw the half of the first part.
It was really good, man.
I forgot to go back and watch it, but I know what you're talking about.
Mom, I recommend it. Everybody, they kind of all shit on each other, but kind of
Bischoff talks on it, right?
They weren't, Bischoff, Goldberg, Russo, everybody, man. Yeah, it was anybody affiliated. I don't think Flair was on it, maybe, but
I kind of remember when there was another podcast talking about it.
Yeah, it was good, man. I recommend it. Vice TV's, I think it's free anyway, but it was really good.
Spoiler: it was Bischoff, Russo, and Hogan.
It was, yeah. Even after watching that, I feel like it was everybody. Everybody was just
Nash.
Oh yeah,
Nash and didn't help.
Right, yeah, and and they're fighting against the networks and stuff. It's pretty good, man. It's not bad at all.
Real quick, I'm going to come back to your Britt Baker thing when we talk about AEW, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Yep, we'll go back. All right, so one last thing, we get to SummerSlam. So, all right, so All Out is in Chicago, September 1st, and Dynamite is in Champaign, which is about 45 minutes of me, Illinois. I'm thinking about going because I want to see what kind of market they get there. This is basically a go home Dynamite. If I got August, I mean that's the Wednesday before they're going into All In, so I'm thinking this might be the one to go to. It's a big show going up in Wembley. You know what I mean? Chicago. So I'll be interested to see if what kind of show they put on. heading like the go home show, whatever, on Wednesday. So curious. So
Guaranteed to
I'll
see
get back to you.
Danielson.
I'll get back to you. Yeah. True. All right, boys, let's talk SummerSlam, man. So Cleveland, Ohio definitely wasn't sold out. I think they announced 57,791 as the attendance, 57,791 people.
That's pretty good.
Yep. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and get on my soapbox here real quick.
Soapbox it up.
The only fucking really thing I hated about this show,
Jelly
man.
roll.
Yeah, man. Let me tell
I
you.
knew it.
Let me tell you, dude. Let me tell you, I want to say this before I say anything. So, man, I love Jelly Roll's story. That's great. All the things he went through to get where he is, that's great. And his music is great for some people, but let me tell you, I think he's straight garbage. The dude has no talent singing. Like, I don't even get it. Like, it's just him, like basically singing crappy, about his life into these songs and stuff like that. Right. Okay. Which that's great, man. That's great. It's not, that music is not directed at me. I get it. Okay. But let me tell you guys, when I'm turning on, I'm often say this, when I'm turning on SummerSlam with my kids and there's this dude on there and my daughter knows who Jelly Roll is, and he gets to sing this song and it's the official song of SummerSlam and we hear it 1,000 fucking times during the show. Okay. Drink pill or drink whiskey, pop pills. You're a liar, dumb. You know what I mean? Like how many, in the hook, like whole time, like, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we fucking doing? Like, okay, we can have Jelly Roll. I'm fine with that, but let's pick a different song, dude. Like come the fuck on, man. Like, like it's already shitty that we're going to have to see him, like sing the songs and stuff like throughout the show. And then, I even gave him a pass, later on in the show when he fucking choke slams Austin Theory. I'm like, God, he sucks. But, his singing sucks. But, like I said, great dude. I've seen stuff, I've listened to podcasts with him on him. You know what I mean? But I'd never listen to anything him singing on him. I just don't think his music is good, right? I'm sorry if I, that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own kind of music, right? But okay.
The only thing I have to say about Jelly Roll on SummerSlam, because I think I went to the bathroom when he was performing.
Good spot.
But when he good job to Austin Theory for freaking selling the hell out of
Oh my God, yeah.
He got some air.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And that's great, man. Let's promote the shit out of him, man. But like, we got to do this song and then we got to see him so much during and hear the song so much. And, kids are watching with me, man. We're having meals and let's watch SummerSlam and, eat some nachos and listen to some dude talk about, drinking whiskey and popping pills. And, and I'm looking over my daughter going, don't you ever get a tattoo on your face. I'll kill you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, I mean, not against tattoos or whatever. You know what I mean? But just the music, man, like, get the fuck out of here, man. Just so, but anyway, that was my soapbox. So I'm gonna hop off, man, and then tell you what I did love, man. I love these camera angles that they had. Like walking behind the guys and girls coming out. I thought that was super cool. I will forever call them Matt Facts because of Matt Hardy. The facts and stuff, stats that they had on like the left of the screen. I thought that was a really cool touch.
Hardy hates mustard.
Yeah, right. So I love that part. I thought those are great. I love the angles like in Monday Night Raw. Like I'm not too much of a big fan, like of them, showing them walk through Gorilla and go out, but like big matches, where they're walking basically through, like showing them just like walking out. Like I think that's really cool. But and I think that's got a lot to do with because they do that a lot in UFC. I mean, that's where I like recognize it a lot. I'm like, all right, they're getting some tips or they're getting some new camera guys to like do some different stuff in there. So I kind of thought that was really cool. So you guys got anything about the opener? Want to say anything about anything before I jump into match number one? That I shocked you because I just shit on Jelly Roll?
I have never once listened to or heard a Jelly Roll song. I've looked at him once and thought to myself, there's nothing that's going to come out of that guy's mouth that I'm going to find interesting or appealing.
Right. Yeah. I just
Austin
can't
Theory taking a choke slam.
Yeah.
From Jelly Roll.
Yep.
Who does that serve?
Nobody really.
It's just Austin's doing a favor to the back.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem, and you boys know this just as well as I do. The whole job of the professional wrestler is to get themselves over. This is the anti-push. You got choke slammed by a man named Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like when non-wrestlers beat up wrestlers because it doesn't serve anybody.
Makes our sport look bad.
Yeah, Pete Rose getting tombstoned every year, hilarious.
Right.
The way it should be. But Johnny Knoxville beating Sami Zayn in a match. No. It's just I want Austin Theory to succeed, and I don't see how a dumpy musician choke slamming him is going to help him out.
Was Austin? Were they the tag team champions here too?
Yeah, no, not here.
Oh,
they already had dropped them to the Bloodline.
Okay, I'll say they could have found
on a random Friday night.
They could have found somebody else.
But yeah,
bring Santino Marella back to do that fucking spot or something, right?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
Austin Theory beat John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yeah, right.
And then he got chokeslammed by Jelly Roll.
Right.
Through the power of face tattoos.
Right, because he's got
Jelly
the
Roll.
Whiskey Pop and Peel song.
Yeah, Jelly Roll overcame a guy with arms bigger than Jelly Roll's head. Yep. Okay. But yeah, it just makes the sport look silly.
Match number 1, boys, was a pretty good hot opener here. So we see the big turn. We had Rhea Ripley with Dom coming in versus Liv. Camera angles were awesome here too. I love how they followed Rhea out. Of course, Liv wins after help from Dom. Then she went for the Oblivion finish on the steel chair, and so Dom helps out Liv. Liv retains the title, and we got the big turn, the big swerve right off the bat, and we're like, oh, I love this right off the top. What about you, Primo?
Loved it. I mean, that's what I was hoping was going to happen. So no, it's just I like the way they did it. I thought that the commentators kind of sold it really well, even whenever he pulled the chair from Rhea's hand, saying, "No, you can't do that." I thought it went really well. Yeah. Even for Liv to kind of look surprised there at the end was good.
Like he chose me.
If Liv Morgan's going to beat Rhea Ripley, I want it to have interference. So good.
Yeah,
I'm okay with her having the title. I'm fine with Liv being a champion. But if you're going to beat Rhea Ripley, you can't be clean. That's my only thought, and they did that well. So good on them.
Yeah. Keeps Rhea shined up.
Yeah, exactly.
And she just returned. You know what I mean? So literally just came back. So
now she's the scorned lover too.
She is. Yeah.
My poor dark-haired, covered in tattooed Rhea Ripley.
Match number 2 for the Intercontinental title. Kind of saw this coming. This was. We got the Sami Zayn coming in as the Intercontinental Champion versus Braun Breaker. They show Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner, his family. It's there. You know what I mean. So if they didn't let you know by then, that sure tipped it off. I thought this was an okay match. I still like it when Braun goes to take off. Like, dude is lightning, man. And actually. So my cousin's husband, I call him my uncle. He's a booster for Kennesaw State, and Braun Breaker was running back, for them, and so he's kind of like so it's kind of like cool to see
degrees of separation.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's kind of wild, Kennesaw State, Georgia, because he went there, and so. It's cool to kind of like see. I mean, he won on the spear, but like when he goes to take off, like he's just like it seems like he goes from 0 to 60 in like a millisecond. Like he's so fast off that first step. I don't think this match is anything special. You know, it seemed like they were getting the title on Braun. What'd you think, Michael?
Yeah, when Sammy got the title off of Gunther, he was clearly a transitional champion. I don't like the spear as a finisher. I'm going to say it right now. I do not like the spear as a finisher.
Does Roman finish with that, or does he finish with Superman? You know, punch.
He finished with the spear.
Okay, all right. Well, then, yeah, Braun definitely shouldn't be doing it then, but that's just, you know.
It's just, I've seen it done so many times. I get why people use it. You know, it's fast. It can be out of nowhere. It can be a hit on anybody.
You should turn that into a clothesline. Braun breaker.
Yeah.
Maybe, or something like that.
Like, I don't like the power slam as a finisher, though. I really don't like that, because all you have to do is just, bye. But, like, you know, I want a big power move from Braun Breaker, because he could do it. But I don't know, like, because after you've seen Goldberg's spear, no one's spear is better than Goldberg's. It's the best, because he actually is spearing the shit out of somebody.
And he kind of needs to stay away from anything Goldberg, because those comparisons are already there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he needs to come up with some sort of power finisher. So, how long does he keep the title, Primo?
Probably till Survivor Series.
Yeah,
I'd say I mean, I was happy because there was a title change. But and I didn't care one way or the other, to be honest. I really, right now, I don't not like Braun Breaker. I actually do like Braun Breaker, but right now, he's not that over with me. I just don't care. Yeah, that's it. He's just a meathead that can run around the ring and spear people. So, give me more than that.
Speaking of boners earlier, right after this match, we got a Stephanie McMahon sighting. Yeah. Zing.
Yeah, she's no vaulter.
Third match was for the U.S. title. L.A. Knight versus Logan Paul in Cleveland. Paul comes out looking, he's got the Browns, tights and stuff on. I'm like, he's definitely losing, man. He putting those
in his hometown,
on. Yeah, right. L.A. wins, of course, by the blunt force trauma, and man, get Machine Gun Kelly out of wrestling. Come on, enough's enough. Like, why? He didn't do nothing for this. Like, just by being there. Like, tell me, dudes. Like, Primo, you're the youngest of us three. Like, is he is he a big deal? Is he a big deal? Like, is he an artist? Like, a big deal as an artist?
He is an artist, yeah.
Right.
I mean, he used to be a rapper. Now he's a punk rock artist. But he's from Cleveland. He's been around a while. Had his career destroyed by Eminem.
Did he rip him up in a rap or something?
And Eminem just back.
Yeah,
they tried to have a beef, and Eminem is Eminem. So,
I mean, I thought another title change, so I was cool with that, and that was LA Knight finally getting his. And honestly, I wasn't mad at it. As the length of time that Logan Paul held the title, I thought he was doing fine. He held it since WrestleMania, so or maybe before that.
Maybe before that. I think he retained at Mania, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's really weird about Logan Paul? I'm gonna say something here, and I want you guys to really take a walk with me on this one.
Besides the fact that he's a dummy.
Well, people lost their fucking minds when Logan Paul was in professional wrestling the first time, right? And they're like, oh, he's such a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you clearly don't know anything about professional wrestling then. Most of them are scumbag carnies, from what I understand. Which is still my favorite Primo quote ever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's naturally unlikable because he is such a raging douche in real life. That's why he's a perfect wrestling heel. And I hate to say it, but he's athletic.
Yeah.
He takes it seriously.
Yeah.
Talented as hell.
He's picked it up very quickly. And
I get why people hate him in real life. I get the heat. But, like, if you got rid of everyone who was a dirtbag in professional wrestling,
Mm.
who's left? Rey Mysterio Jr.? Like, that's it.
Right. So let me ask a question. Enlighten me. Logan Paul, like, I don't know anything other than he owns Prime. I know him from wrestling. I know he had a podcast.
He has a podcast.
I know of his brother probably a little more because I watch a lot of fighting. You know what I mean? But is he known for being like a big douche?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a major. He rose to fame in YouTube, right?
Oh, okay.
And one of his most viral moments was when he had to issue an apology and all that shit to Japan, but he went to the Japanese suicide forest on camera and published the video. Which is that was a big deal. But this is years ago, though. He's since recovered from that.
Yeah. Good.
He also likes to just spout off at the mouth and on Twitter or whatever it's called these days, without a filter. So that's a problem too.
I did see some of his Olympics thoughts.
Yep.
Leave it at that.
And then all he put was oopsies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Picture a guy whose sole audience is like the 12 to 15-year-old white male crowd who thinks like, edgelord, like, being an asshole is like the coolest thing ever. He like plays to that, and they send him money, and that's how he became famous and wealthy. And then he just kept doing that, and there you go.
All right, match number 4. Your favorite, Michael. We'll start with you on this one. Bayley versus Nia Jax. We almost had a Tiffy time cash in during this one, but it took 2 power bombs and 3 annihilators before Bayley finally went down. And new champ. What do you think, Mike?
I have questions for Primo.
I have letters. Okay. WHY.
Why? Just why? Why Nia Jax? Why is she even back in professional wrestling? Why is she getting a title? Why are they even, where do they go from this? What do they do next? Like, does anyone care about Nia Jax? Like, it's so weird in so many ways. You take one of the most legitimately dangerous people in that ring, whose reputation is hurting people because she's so bad at this, and you put her against a popular now face Bayley, and then it's Nia Jax. She has like no ability. I'm pretty sure that I could be a better professional wrestler than Nia Jax. And she's just so bad at this. She has no charisma. She has no personality. She's no talent. And she beats Bayley. So why? Why is she back? Why is she now the champion, Primo? I need answers from that big
Tell us,
brain.
Primo. Tell us.
It has nothing to do with Nia Jax. That's
okay.
From there, you have to just eliminate Nia Jax from the equation. She just happens to be the person in the spot. What it really has to do with is making the king and queen of the ring mean something.
Fair.
Because for the past, 20 years, they have meant shit. And they are finally trying, they're trying to establish the king and queen of the ring. I think this was the first time they both challenged for a title. So make it mean something. It could have been any women wrestler, but it just happened to be Nia Jax.
Yeah.
And maybe she wrote that in her new contract. I don't really know, but I think that's what it more has to do with. Is making that mean something.
So then we go to the next question then. If that was the plan, why did Nia Jax win the Queen of the Ring?
It may have been wrote in her contract or something. I don't know.
So
she's holding him up.
She's like, okay, I have all this leverage and bargaining power because I'm so in demand right
Dude,
now.
Somebody back there finds her appealing. Dwayne
The Rock Johnson, her cousin, would be my guess. Like I am so sick of. I'm gonna say this. I'm so sick of the bloodline at this point. I'm so sick of everyone who's in a top spot being related to The Rock. I am tired of it at this point. Like at least the Usos and Roman are highly talented. I don't care about Solo Sikoa. I really don't give a crap. I don't care about Nia Jax. I don't care about Jacob Fatu. I do not give a shit anymore.
Well, it's
I
going to be here
have
through
too
at
many
least.
Roman Reigns relatives all over the place.
It's going to be here through at least Survivor Series because they got to do their group versus probably Cody and Roman's group. I'm assuming, or
God, it never ends. It
Yeah.
never ends.
No, they have a Bad Blood coming up too.
Yeah. Match number 5, boys. Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk with Seth Rollins as the referee. Punk is in shape. Punk looked good, man. He did. Probably the best I've seen him.
Yeah, he dialed up
AEW.
AJ Styles. He's like, hey, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's looking good.
Ask Randy about those quads. How do you get that shit going?
He's like, I'm sick of people calling me skinny fat. I need to do this.
Right. So Drew McIntyre wins after Punk hits the GTS on Seth. And then the little kick to the nuts. And this, and this match was too much about this dumb bracelet. You know what I mean?
Say that.
It was just, man, just come on. Like these two grown men beefing over like a bracelet supposed to have been like personal. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just something they just kind of threw in that storyline. But the first thing to me was, wow, okay, this is our first time seeing CM Punk lose. So, which is good. Needed to happen.
In the ring since.
Yeah, it needed to happen. This is on and on. Of course, this is going to lead to Punk Seth, which I'm here more for that because I know they legit don't like each other. So I like when hope the lines get blurred a little bit. But what you guys think about this match though? Like it was okay. It seemed like a feud forwarding match or almost a transition kind of.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree that the fact that it became about the bracelet was pretty stupid. Sure. Obviously, dude, I don't know if you guys saw the ref cam from Seth Rollins. It was pretty funny, but he's telling Drew to hit him harder and shit like that. Obviously Seth doesn't like, CM Punk or Drew.
Yeah.
But, the match was fine. No, I mean, I was surprised. I was actually surprised that fucking Punk lost. Thank heavens they didn't come back and squash Drew. But yeah, no, I was cool. I was cool with it overall, but I agree that it was pretty stupid. It was about a bracelet. He happened to, Seth literally did what a ref is supposed to do and picked debris up off the mat. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree that the bracelet thing was kind of dumb. I agree that it was really setting up the real feud of Punk versus Rollins. I like that Punk lost because honestly, this is what we talked about when he came back was that no, he needs to lose. Let him. Everyone knows who CM Punk is. You're not trying to reintroduce a new star. It's CM Punk. Everyone knows who he is. So you don't really have to build him up, right?
Right.
I like Drew winning, and honestly, I think that whole they don't like each other thing is way played up. Seth Rollins and Punk, they are going to do business because they're there to make money. And Seth Rollins' spot isn't threatened by CM Punk at all. Neither is Drew McIntyre's, and they both know that. So, if anything, they're going to make more money because CM Punk is there now. So they're doing a good job of all they have to do is put doubt out there, right? Mm-hmm. If they can make you doubt it, mm-hmm. then they're doing their job excellently. And there is enough reason to be I don't know. I like that Punk lost because he distracted himself, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is okay, so it was a mental mistake that cost him, right? Which is the way which happens in sports all the time.
Right.
One mental mistake and your opponent wins. So
Sure.
I like that. That adds a bit of legitimacy to what's going on there. Yeah, Punk is jacked too. Like, what's with all these old dudes getting jacked? I can't handle this. Got AJ Styles who's like 90 years old, picking up buses and shit.
All right, man. So next up was match number 6 on the card for the World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest coming in as the champion versus Gunther. It's a pretty good match here up until Finn, the breakup of the Judgment Day starts to begin. Finn puts Gunther's foot on the rope to help him stay in the match, and then Gunther ended up winning later. So, I mean, I thought this was good. It was kind of more about the breakup, really, kind of more than Damian losing, really, kind of. Gunther's going to be the champion now until 2030. So,
if we're lucky.
Yeah, but this was okay. It didn't blow me away. I thought they needed to bang a little more, but I felt like they kind of knew they were going to bang later, so they went ahead and not banged as much.
There's a raging Walter getting banged later.
There is.
No, there's so one part of this that I could not get over. Well, a couple things I gotta say about this, but I want to start by saying, not that
You love Walter,
really,
yes.
not that it really affected my like or dislike of the entire match, but I couldn't get over the part where Finn put Gunther's leg on the ropes. Damian had to roll Gunther over there.
Right.
Like, I was just like, well, that moment was kind of like...
Right, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you had to get him in position. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a little weird. Like, why would you roll him all the way across halfway of the ring to pin him?
Right, that was kind of strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make it less obvious.
They should have just picked him up and body slammed him over there or something.
Yeah,
more
like-
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like DDT. There you go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, Gunther was going to win, so that didn't bother me. I knew, and it was time for Damian to drop it anyway.
Yeah.
But my one thing I just really liked about it was, at this point in the PLE, we have had multiple different stories within the same faction of it breaking up. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. And like you've turned Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest face now.
Right.
And so yeah, I like Damian Priest a lot. Helps that he has dark hair and a lot of tattoos, Primo. That helps out quite a bit. Killer eyeliner too on that guy. But yeah, Gunther getting the title, Damian Priest turning face. Judgment Day is overdue too. Like they really weren't doing much anymore. So I'm glad that it's broken up. You got 2 faces, 2 heels out of it. Nice clean split down the middle. Yeah, Gunther until 2030. I hope.
Yeah.
If the gods let it happen.
I don't know where those came from.
Well,
If the Primos of the world can just not let us have nice things, though, I understand.
Get those boos ready, Primo, because right after this was the worst spot in SummerSlam history. Jelly Roll, Choke Slams, Austin Theory. Once again, come on, man. But, right, yes, yeah. Next, but right after this, man, I got pumped up because I saw Arn Anderson giving Cody a little pep talk before he goes out against his match against Solo Sikoa, which was
hey, brother, did you bring the gun?
Yeah. Did you shoot him? So, all right, so Cody versus Solo Sikoa in your main event for the WWE Undisputed title. We had a Fatu interference, and he did the old hurt angle roll. And
He sold it really good.
he said that it was like supposed to be that way. I don't know, we'll see, but it was the interference. But reason why I thought when Fatu got hurt that it was real is because when Roman came out right after that, Roman went right in the ring to spear Solo and do the Superman punch. It feels like he like Fatu was out there to feed Roman once Roman came out to get to to get to Solo. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like that's why I thought Fatu really got hurt, but he said he didn't. But anyway, so Cody retains after a crossroads from or on Solo, and then of course that was following the Superman punch and the spear. So Roman finally returns. Man, did it feel big to you, Michael?
Acknowledge me.
I mean, it's SummerSlam. You knew he was coming back today. Here's a question for you guys about the Bloodline. Every time there's a Bloodline match and there's a run-in, because there's always a run-in, do you not hear the NWO music in your head? Just a little play of it, just the
Right.
It's like
No.
Here's my problem with like the heel stables. They have been relying on the same tricks for heel stables for 30 years at this point. Please do something else than run-ins, because the act is tired. Switch it up. Do something else.
Well,
go ahead.
This one was technically a Bloodline Rules match.
See, that's the same thing under a different name, though. You're putting a hat on a hat at this point.
But this is them basically telling you it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
They're telling us it's going to happen when there's anyone in the Bloodline in a match. Like, what was the last Roman Reigns match or Bloodline match where there wasn't interference of some kind?
It's like 2020 before COVID.
Didn't they just sign Hakaleo too? They just signed Hakaleo too. You know we're going to see that dude. He's huge.
God, no.
Everybody was flipping out because Zilla Fatu was in Cleveland.
Yep, for GCW, I think.
He was in the audience though at SummerSlam too.
Yeah.
Let's just call it All NUI Wrestling, AAW. Like, why not?
I mean, nepotism has been present in wrestling forever, but I get it.
Yeah.
They're getting as big as the NWO, and you can't recognize all the members. I get it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. There are some like members, and I'm like, who is that? Like, I don't. You turn away for like 2 weeks, and you're just completely lost. Who the hell's in there?
There's 4 new Bloodline members, and the storylines already took a right turn.
Now they got Bloodline Red and Black.
There's the Uncle Reggie from the Bloodline who drove a cab all the way here. And
Solo's going to come out next week with a new shirt on. He's going to say, either you're with us or you're against us.
Too sweet.
All right, boys, let's smelly mark this thing, man. SummerSlam, Cleveland. I'm going to stick it about an 8.
8, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you know,
Jelly Roll does knock it down a couple points.
Yeah. That's probably, you know, I mean, the matches were decent. You know, like, you know, title changes always are a wow factor, whichever way you look at it. So I think they went the crowd pleasers here a little bit, but my favorite was probably the opener.
I gotta know, like, if you remove Jelly Roll from the equation, what does your mark get at that point?
I'm only docking like a half a point because of Jelly Roll. I can't put that much stock into that untalented fuck.
It's half a point.
Yeah. Like I said, I love him story. Just no music, terrible. It's not for me. It's not for me. I know this. What do you think, Primo? What do you like?
So since Jelly Roll was there, I'm gonna have to bump that up.
I have a point exactly.
Man, I've been shitting on the fan base the whole time.
I don't give a fuck either way about Jelly Rolls. Neither here or there for me. But lots of title changes. I really enjoyed the faction, or excuse me, the story throughout SummerSlam of the faction breaking up. Roman coming back to a monstrous babyface pop.
Mm-hmm.
That ooh-ah that he got when oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. That's how I know I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, because shit like that gives me chills.
Sure.
So, I'm going to seriously give it 8.5 based off all that. I had a great time overall.
Yeah. Michael, what was your score?
I'm going to say this one for me ranks in about a 7.5.
Okay.
You have to have your automatic 0.5 deduction for Jelly Roll. That's just mandatory at this point.
Every fucking time.
And then I deducted another point for every time I just did this face. Such as Nia Jax winning. Just... And then the rolling of Gunther all the way to the ropes.
Right.
It was like, yeah, seriously, like 16 feet of rolling.
All right. So that was SummerSlam. We'll see how things roll. I'm sure more of the same, more bloodline.
Kind of like Gunther.
Yep. All right. So we got some All In coming up here pretty soon at Wembley, coming up as we record this about a little less than 2 weeks from now. So we're going to do some quick picks on the matches that have been announced so far. But first, a word from our buddy, Bucky Collins.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty Bucky Collins, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks.
Thank you, sir. All right. Right off the top, man, let's start at the big one. For the AEW World Title, if Bryan Danielson loses, he never wrestles again. That's the wording that they're putting out right now. So Swerve as champion, Bryan Danielson, quick pick, boys. What do you think, Primo?
I mean,
Bryan getting the title in Wembley? Yeah.
I mean, clearly for me, obviously, Bryan Danielson's going to take it.
Mike?
And Swerve's held it for a while, so yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I say there's zero chance Bryan Danielson doesn't wrestle in AEW ever again. Like,
right.
Zero chance.
Yeah. I feel like it feels like it's time. It's going to be a big event. They're going to love him over there. AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm as champion versus the Glamour Mariah May. I think we got another title change here. This is, they're trying to make this new girl May here. This will give her some clout. This time, Tony's had it for quite a while. They already, kind of got a feud going. What do you guys think? New champ, old champ?
What position in the card do you think it is?
Well, as I looked up on the website, they got it listed right under as co-main. So,
oh no, they're not gonna do 2 title changes in a row like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, without that business factor coming into it, I think there could potentially be a title change.
Okay.
If it gets moved to like the opener or right before the piss break match, then I'd say there's a title change coming. But if that position,
well, this is how they had them listed. I mean, we're still a week and a half out.
You mean Jericho versus Hook?
Yeah. That one I hadn't even had that one down yet. I think that one got added last night, didn't it? All right, so next one I got was the AEW International Championship / MJF's calling it the American Championship. It's got a it makes the title look awesome. The red and white and blue background.
The USA belt.
Yeah. So MJF versus the champion versus Will Ospreay. This is the rematch. What do you think, Michael?
Ooh.
New champ, old champ. Rematch here?
I think Ospreay takes.
Didn't he take it off Ospreay?
No, he took it off of Orange, didn't he?
Oh no, Ospreay had it before that, right? I think MJF keeps it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Why make a custom belt like that? Only have it for like one defense.
Right.
Remember the Hempyweight title? He didn't have it very long.
Isn't that the one Kofi won?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Michael, here's your chance to talk about Britt. The AEW TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné, the champion, versus Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker. Michael.
I'm going to say Mercedes Moné, but I'm going to caveat that with I do not care. All right, so this is my chance to talk about Britt Baker. I'm going to ask a couple questions here. So, remember when the report came out that the women's locker room was constantly like fighting with each other? Then they came out and essentially crucified the wrestler who made that claim. And then it turns out later, it's like, oh, no, she was completely right about that. This is just more AEW high school drama that's been going on for day one. And people really wanted it to be CM Punk as the boogeyman. That's why AEW is dysfunctional. No, it's just more of the same. And like, you said earlier that I'm just so tired of this crap with them. It's entitled millionaires bitching about each other behind each other's back and on Twitter. And then just getting into weird fights over nothing. And then we have to hear about it because what's interesting in AEW is what happens behind the scenes and not on the TV. So,
It's better than
my
it was
God,
a year
I'm
ago.
so
I
sick
think it
of
is.
these. It's just these
What TV product?
children. Yeah, just these children nonstop on Twitter and crying to Dave Meltzer about how everything's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, social media is bad for wrestling. It's good in
bad
a lot of
in
ways,
general.
but it's bad in a lot of ways. I feel like it's good for you when you're on the rise. It's bad for you once you get there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
If you were Tony Khan and your wrestlers were putting the shit out on Twitter that they did, wouldn't you be like, okay, we're updating your contract. You cannot use fucking social media anymore because you're making us look like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, it's funny because the contrast of WWE, where their wrestlers are very like, no, you cannot do this stuff or say this stuff without office approval.
Here's another thing too. Let me say this real quick. I feel like people in WWE, they're a little more. They keep their job a little closer to their chest. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they feel like it's more. With AEW, like I feel like they're a little more loose. They kind of say a little bit more of what they want to. Now I know there's going to be some. But like I feel like people in WWE, like not for just a lack of
WWE is a publicly traded company with a real PR team.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because like for the longest time, people like wrestling fans like us advocated for letting wrestlers cut their own promos that weren't scripted. And we're like, no, just let them cut their own promos. And then you see what the stuff that they're saying on AEW is, and you're like, oh, that's why they're not allowed to do it sometimes. Yeah. Because they put out crap like that.
All right, Primo, you going with Britt or Mercedes?
No, Mercedes. I mean, it'd be kind of weird for them to put out a title on somebody that they publicly suspended.
Sure.
So for real life shit. So that'd be kind of an interesting business move. I mean, if that's the case, either she's taking a tip out of Office Space, I guess, where you just don't give a fuck and get promoted. Yeah. But no, I don't care either way. But I think Mercedes Moné keeps it. And just a caveat on what Michael was saying. It is kind of I mean, I've said this way back when we were hearing shit about the Elite versus Punk way back in the day.
Yeah.
I was fed up with all the backstage drama and hearing about it back then. AEW seems to have issues, and we hear about it probably every once a quarter. And it's just crazy to me, but whatever. I don't really give a crap what happens with your drama backstage. If it's the real drama, if it's storyline drama, sure, but if it's real drama, keep that shit separate.
All right, Primo, make a pick. AEW TNT Championship. Jack Perry, the champion, versus Darby.
Jack retains.
Yep, that's what I think so too. Michael, your boy, Jungle.
You know how you just mentioned that it'd be interesting to put a title on someone who got suspended for real life shit.
Full circle. Everything comes
they're
full
stupid
circle.
enough to do it, Primo.
That's true. That's true. This is still fresh, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's still technically same.
Yeah. All right, last couple matches.
Well, it's still fresh over there because they keep bringing it back up.
Right.
But Jack Perry retains in a big fat who gives a shit moment.
Right.
So,
all right, next couple matches. AEW World Trios Championship, the Patriarchy, which is Christian Killswitch and Nick Wayne versus either the Bang Bang Gang or the House of Black. I'm not sure who won that one last night, but these titles, I hate them. They're just awful. Go ahead.
All I want to say is, real quick, Michael, you hate Luchasaurus. do you like him a little better with Killswitch as his name?
Is he still a dinosaur?
Yeah.
No. I do not cotton to wrestling dinosaurs, all right?
He's a dinosaur with braids, too.
It's silly 1980s bullshit. Like,
right.
Make him a plumber, too, while we're at it.
But, I mean, Patriarchy is the trio's champions. I feel like they could definitely still beat the Bang Bang Gang.
Right. Casino Gauntlet match.
I don't care, but I think
it's kind of throwaway. They got a Casino Gauntlet match. Winner gets AEW World Championship title match. I have no idea who's really in it. They didn't really put anybody. 0 hour.
It just has Orange Cassidy and more competitors to be announced.
Yeah. 0 hour matches. Ishii, Willow Nightingale versus Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. And then Jericho and Hook was made last night. So these are the two probably like that I do watch of AEW consistently every year is All In, All Out, mainly because one of them's usually in Chicago. But and then the other ones I kind of just based on whether I think the matches are big enough. But I'm gonna watch these, I'm hoping it's like I'd love to see a Brian crowning moment. I think Will's probably gonna have a big match in Wembley, with MJF, so that's gonna be pretty nice. So, any thoughts on that before we move on?
Seems to be kind of a snooze fest until the second half of the pay-per-view. But
it's long. It's going to be long.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
I'm just hoping no jelly roll.
There's a lot of I don't give a shit in this pay-per-view at Wembley. Real quick, the trios titles are trash. Like, they're garbage. The Bang Bang Gang, fuck off. Like, Orange Cassidy's probably going to win because of course he is, because he's Orange Cassidy and Tony Khan is still in charge.
Only thing I like about the matches is potential surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long pay-per-view with maybe 2 to 3 interesting matches. Bryan Danielson, MJF, Will Ospreay, Swerve will be good. God, after that, a whole bunch of who gives a shit.
You're going to have to wait until the end for the big payoff.
Or I'm just going to do something else until the last 2 matches are on.
Speaking of Mercedes Moné, she's on the brand new episode or edition of Pro Wrestling Illustrated if you're watching right now on YouTube or Facebook. So pretty cool little spot for her on there.
Are we still all pretending like Mercedes Moné's entire offense isn't just based entirely on landing on her head? Because that's all she does every match is land weird on her head and like accordion her own ass up. Like, she's not as good as you think she is. Scorpion. America, stop it. Germany knows what I'm talking about. They're Gunther fans.
All right, a couple notes here before we go home, and then I got a Minoru Suzuki story I'm going to tell you guys on the way out. Iron Spirit Pros coming up. We got a Sweet Corn Festival coming up in Normal, Illinois on August 24th and 25th. 2 promotional shows coming up on Saturday and Sunday. Come check it out. Come eat all kinds of different corn, vendors, all that kind of stuff going on downtown Normal, Illinois. I want to let you guys know that we're going to be back in early September to review results from WWE Bash in Berlin and All In and All Out results. And I want to let you guys know here, too, coming up here in just a few weeks, I'm going to be sitting down and talking with the brand new Iron Spirit Pro champion, Uncle T, Solomon Tupu, is going to be sitting down. We're going to be talking about life since he's been champ and his coming up in the Black and Brave Academy with Merrick Brave and Seth Rollins, and just his journey, and check him. So make sure you check that out. So let's talk about Dreamwave, man, before we go home here. The best job I ever had. It really is, and it just reiterated, because I'm a wrestling nerd. It's just, you know what I mean. This kind of shit's what I love, right? So Last couple weeks ago, I think it's a couple weeks ago now. This was awesome card. The main event was Minoru Suzuki versus Vic Capri. If you don't know Vic Capri, he's Midwest wrestling legend. Like, he's like our godfather up here, and he's, you know, and this was one of his dream matches. So that was in the main event, but you can watch it on IWTV. Also, we did Uprising the Friday night before, which is the third show of the women's division in Dreamwave, and some really awesome matches on that show. Maggie Lee versus Megan Bain was the main event for that one. Just super, super awesome weekend. So, you know, so when I show up to Dreamwave, you know, like, you know, I do a lot of different things, but I just never really know. Sometimes they're on the fly, you know, that kind of stuff. So, I got to work side by side with Minoru Suzuki a little bit this past show because he did a meet and greet before. So we're getting ready for that, getting everything set up, and, you know, and I had no idea I was about to go do this, and they're like, hey, so Minoru, he comes and does his signing autographs and stuff, and then so after that, you know, so they come and grab me and they have me take him to his locker room, which I thought was pretty cool. And I'm like, that's cool stuff right here, man. You know, so I just kind of walking with him. You know, he's a very super nice guy. I had a shirt on that was a wrestler's. His name is Zach Abstract, and he's doing a power bomb on the shirt, and he was like complimenting my shirt. You know, super nice guy. You know, it's kind of chit chatted, small talk. You know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, nothing like out of the ordinary, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that kind of stuff. So that was like my interactions with him. And then I got to, you know, kind of talk to him and just check on him, you know, after the show was over. He ended up winning, you know, beating Vic Capri later on that night. But the story and the one thing that I'll always remember about Minoru Suzuki is I'm pulling into little old LaSalle, Illinois, you know, where Dreamwave goes on every other month. Next show is October 14th, by the way. Cheap plug. So I'm walking through the parking lot, right? I got my bag, I got my suit, you know, and everything, shoes in my hand, you know, and I'm not expecting to see nobody. And the Knights of Columbus building's a long building. And, you know, so I'm kind of like walking down and I turn the corner and there's nobody else around, not a fucking soul. And there's Minoru Suzuki standing right in front, you know, and he's just ripping a cigarette. And I'm like, that's one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in my fucking life, man. I ain't even bullshitting. I'm like, I wanted to take a picture of that so bad. And I would have never showed a soul. I probably wouldn't even showed you guys. Well, lying, I probably would have showed you, but I would have kept it for myself and just looked at it like, man, I wish I was that damn cool. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Just wasn't about it was like a James Dean moment. You always see him like he went to cigarettes, you know, and he's, you know, in the old pictures and stuff. And it's fucking legendary, man. And like, such a nice dude. I'm just thinking, man, you know, this guy's a wrestling legend, MMA legend. And, you know, and now a wrestling legend. And, you know, when, you know, he's murder grandpa to everybody in independent wrestling, you know, and here he is in little old LaSalle, and he's just, you know, he's ripping a butt out in front of the Knights of Columbus building, you know, and I'm just like, man, this is great, man. Like, you know, like stuff like this is
solid moment. Yeah,
man, it really was. And I did end up getting to take pictures with him later that, you know, I posted, you know, so that was cool. But, yeah, man, God bless Dreamwave, because without Dreamwave, like, you know, those kind of moments, you know, I would never know them. So, but it was super cool. October 14th, the next show is going to be called Trick or Treat. It's going to be live on IWTV. But go check this last card out. It's called Uprising 3, and then Those Summer Nights from this past show. Connor Hopkins had an open challenge. It was a really good weekend, man. I just couldn't believe I was watching Minoru Suzuki that close. Like, it was just one of those surreal type moments. So
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I rambled on enough about that, but it's good to see you boys, man. It's good to talk a little wrestling with you. Like I said, we're gonna be back here, and AJ's gonna be here next month. We won't hold Michael to it. Michael made this one, so we're happy, you know. So, but yeah, good to see you guys, man. Thanks for Thanks for hanging out with me today, talking a little wrestling. Appreciate it. We want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. And go over to at Sit Down Marks at Facebook, Instagram, DB on the mic. Give us a follow. Give us go to our YouTube page. Check us out. Give us a follow. We really appreciate it. I want to thank everybody listening on Spotify, Audible, and also Apple Podcasts, and of course our friends over at SportzWire Radio, where Thomas Price is the number one. Bang, bang! It's been a minute since I did that, so I thought I'd throw that out there. But thanks, everybody, listening. SportzWire Radio, thank you, everybody, for listening, downloading. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We'll be talking with Solomon Tupu, and then we'll see you guys in early September talking WWE Bash in Berlin. All in, all out. I'm DB. That's Michael. That's Primo. We are Sit Down Marks. Thank you, guys. Top guys. Out. Okay, so here's the part of the show where we're just going to fucking shit on AJ. That fucking piece of shit, bald, worst bartender I've ever worked with in my life. Just a big bag of shit, man. We didn't even shit on him during the show, and he's the only one that'll know to listen to past that little jingle.
Yeah,
shit. So let's say
you
fuck.
Clearly
him.
Said Thursday.
Clearly said Thursday, AJ. I made you vote on it, AJ.
Right. That's the best part. He voted on Thursday.
I thought it was Wednesday, man. I thought it was Wednesday.
Oh,
Michael, this is your brother here.
I know, but I've known him longer than you.
Clearly, you're the superior Harris brother. The brothers Harris superior is what you are.
I'm just as bald, but I just don't care. So, also, fun fact: Solomon Tupu is an objectively cool name.
It is. I know that's why I'm like, going away from it. Call yourself Uncle T. All right. Top guys finally out this time, but for real.
What?